This portion of the professional development will focus on opportunities to respond and strategies to incorporate varied opportunities to respond in your instruction. Please ensure that the accompanying handout is downloaded or printed so that you can follow along and engage with the questions that will be asked throughout. Opportunities to respond, or OTRs, are the number of times that teachers give students the opportunity to respond to a question or prompt. OTRs have several benefits in the classroom. It increases student learning, it is cost and time efficient, it captures student attention, and it increases teacher ability to monitor student understanding. According to research, the major benefit of increasing the number of opportunities to respond is the corresponding increase in student learning, which occurs because students spend more time engaging in instruction. Currently, less than half of a school day is spent doing academic work. A major way to address this is to increase engagement in the classroom. Increasing the responses of each student leads to increased time spent engaged in instruction, giving students more of an opportunity to be successful in learning. There are many different forms of OTRs. Most teachers ask students to raise their hands to answer the questions or prompts provided. This, however, leads to certain groups of students, typically the high achievers, answering most or all of the questions. Thus, this method doesn't give teachers a clear picture of how well the material is being absorbed. There are other forms of OTRs, like choral response, where all the students answer at once, and from that response you can hear whether or not all the students understood the question or if there were some students who did not. There's also whole body response, where the students move their bodies in certain ways to say that they agree or disagree, or that they think one answer or the other answer is correct. There's also active responding, which is similar to whole body responding in that the students have to do an action. And then there are also response cards, where the student holds up a card saying something is true or false, right or wrong, or even has a little chalkboard where they write down the answer and raise it when the teacher asks them to. Please pause the video for 3 minutes and, using the form provided, list the type of prompts you currently use in your classroom, whether it's calling on students, choral response, or maybe even response cards. Then, at the end of the 3 minutes, please continue the video. Choral responding is also known as unison responding, and is when all students respond after given a signal from the teacher. There are 4 criteria for choral responding. The first is short answers. This criteria makes it possible for the teacher to observe the understanding of the class and determine if the class needs more instruction in the area, or only certain students are struggling and need one-on-one attention. Briskly paced lesson. This allows the teacher to grab and maintain the attention and participation of the students. Thinking pause. There should be a thinking pause between the prompt and the choral response, giving the students time to think through the question and figure out what answer they think is right. Then lastly, there should be a clear signal that the teacher requires a choral response for the prompt or question. This can be taught to the students beforehand so that they get used to the signal and know what is required of them. Please view the following 2 videos showing examples of choral responses in a classroom.
3/18 in simplest form. Okay, you can enter your answers. Correct answer was D, 1/6. So it looks like 23 out of 26 of us got it correct.
A word out and you see if you can figure out which one it is. Here we go. Let's read together.
This is a herd of triceratops.
What did I leave out next? Very good. Everybody touch the word herd. Let's spell it.
H-E-R-D.
Active responding incorporates gestures, body movements, or movement within the class in responses to teacher questions or prompts. There are 4 elements of active responding. The first is clear instructions on relationship between action and response. So for instance, if the question asks a true or false question and the active response is a thumbs up or a thumbs down, then the teacher must clearly instruct the students in what those different gestures mean. The next one is questions with multiple possible responses. Example, yes or no questions or true or false questions. Then thinking pause. Similar to choral responding, there needs to be a thinking pause to give the students time to think through the question as well as their answer. Then a clear signal. Again, very similar to choral responding, the students must be given a signal that the response needs to be an active response versus a choral response or an individual response. Please watch the following video showing an example of active responding in the classroom.
And if I say a verb, I want you to do like a really quiet little action. And if I say a word that is not a verb, maybe it's a noun, I want you to fold your hands like this and just shake your head. Okay? Here we go. You ready? Show me you're ready, Kim. Ready? Here we go. First word, playing. Good. Laugh. Scratch. Abraham Lincoln. Abraham Lincoln is a noun. Wink.
And the 10 frame. And you know how to read a 10 frame? I want you to give me your thumbs up. If you think looking at a 10 frame is kind of hard or tricky and you're really not sure how it works, I want you to go like this. This says, Mrs. Graham, I need some extra help. But if you understand it, go like this. So let me see. Are you either a thumbs up or are you like this? And I'll know if you do this, I might need to give you some extra help. Okay, Ashton, we'll work on it, okay?
Response cards are signs that students can hold up simultaneously in response to a teacher's question or prompt. There are 4 elements of response cards. Response cards may be pre-printed with responses like yes or true on one side and no or false on the other. Or they may be dry erase boards for quick written responses like math answers. This is probably the lowest technical way to provide additional opportunities for students to respond. The responses must also be short answers, so again, yes or no or true or false. The instruction must be brisk to engage and maintain the participation and attention of the students, and there must be a clear signal given that the response must be through a response card versus other ways of responding, like choral or active. Now please enjoy the following video that shows response cards being used in a classroom.
Down. When I signal, the first word is people. You're going to hold it down. Get your word in your mind. Is it noun or a verb? And then when I put my hand down, you're going to hold it up for you. Ready? Nice job. Hey, everyone, tell me which word you selected. Noun. Who could tell me?
Once the response type has been created, it must be taught to students. This typically takes 4 steps. As was observed in the videos that were shown previously, the teachers first told the students the steps of the response, explaining what those different steps are. Then they modeled it. The teacher acts it out themselves as an example. Then performing, the students are then asked to practice the response and are provided with feedback. Then application. The students are then given numerous opportunities to display the skill, that is, the response type. To end this portion of the professional development, I would like you to reflect on the following question. Which of the prompt types will you incorporate into your instruction, and what would that look like? Please take some time to think on it and write your response in the form or handout for this section. Then create a simple plan of how you will introduce it to the class. When planning this, also think about how you would teach this to students using the 4 steps previously discussed. While this is only one portion of the training, there are other classroom management strategies that you can receive training on through this Canvas course. Thank you for your participation.